Alright, so this is the second video on mental calculation. I'm talking about adding and subtracting negative numbers. It seems very trivial, like it seems like a very easy topic, but actually there's a lot to it. There's more than you think to it, okay, when it comes to the mental calculation part. So I will explain some of the techniques I use to do these problems. As you can see here, I have listed 12 problems from, easy questions to more difficult ones, okay? Okay, so don't worry about the green stuff below, I will explain them in a bit. So let's look at question 1, okay? 7 minus 9, a relatively easy question. You don't need to apply any sort of technique, you just think as you normally do. You should get to the answer pretty quickly, which should give you minus 2, okay? But I will explain something first. So usually one of the first things I explain about adding and subtracting negative numbers is to visualize the question in terms of steps. So here I have a person, okay? If this person takes 7 steps in front and he moved 9 steps to the back, you should know that his final position will be to the back, okay? So here, 7 steps in front, 9 steps to the back, of course you end up to the back. But by how many? It is the difference between 7 and 9, 2 steps to the back, okay? So hence I have the answer as minus 2. So using this same logic, I can do question 2 very easy as well. I take 7 steps to the back and I take another 9 steps to the back. My total, okay, steps taken to the back should be 7 plus 9, which is 19. But because it's to the back, it is a negative number, okay? Okay, so here now I'll explain the 2 green stars here. So the general rule is like this. If my question is in minus and minus, like question 2 and question 4, right? Minus and minus. Or plus and plus. Plus and plus is not a problem for most people, right? Two positive numbers you add together. This is what I call total steps. So if I have a positive number into the front, and I take another positive number to again, okay? So what happens is, I'm trying to find the total number of steps taken forward. If I have a negative number, and I do another negative number, it is the total number of steps taken backwards. Okay, so for adding and subtracting negative numbers, I split into 2 categories, okay? First one is general direction, okay? And the second one is the type. By type, I mean, is it type, the first type here or the second type, okay? Okay, I will explain, okay, don't worry. So, general direction. Let's do question 3, okay? So, I hope you understand this, the first point. Okay, let me do the second point. Okay, a bit messy. Okay, I explained the first point, right? It is total steps taken forward or taken back. Now, the second point, if I have a minus, plus, or plus, minus, like question 3, it is a plus, minus, correct? It is in difference in step, okay? So let me draw question 3 out for you. So this guy, he takes 15 steps to the front. And after he reaches this point here, and then he decides, okay, I'm going to take another 35 steps to the back. So he ends up maybe here on the line, okay? So actually, what I want to find here, so this is his final position. So I want to figure out how far is he from his final position. And isn't this, if you just look at it visually, isn't this the difference between 31 and 15? Right, it's clearly the difference, right? And then the sign will decide whether it is forward or backward. Okay? So I will do this with you, don't worry. First thing, I want to determine the general direction. Is he going to end up in front or behind from his original position? Just imagine. 15 steps forward, 31 steps back. It is clear, right, that he will end up at the back. So the general direction is to the back. Now, what type is it? It is this type, right? The second type. So which is what I call the difference in steps. The difference between 31 and 15. So I just have to do 31 minus 15. Simple, right? It's just the difference between these 2 numbers, which you should get very easily, minus 16. Okay, assuming that you are already pretty decent at normal mental sum, okay? So we'll do 4. So first, I determine general direction. Minus 15 steps back, minus 31 steps back. So basically he will be at the back, right? I think this should be clear. And he is of type 1. This is type 1, this is type 2. So type 1 is the total steps, so I have to do 15 plus 31, which will give me 46. Okay, so I hope you're getting the drift now. It's actually, when I break it down, it seems like there are many steps happening, but when you get used to it, yeah, these kind of things don't come to mind anymore. Okay, so this is one way I would do this. Now let's move on to question 5. Minus 3 plus 2. So this is an easy sum, right? Minus 3 plus 2 should be very straightforward without having to do any of these things. It is minus 1. Okay? But if I were to do it like this, it's the same, right? I take 3 steps back and 2 steps front. So naturally, I'll end up at the back. Minus. By how much? 3 minus 2, the difference is 1. So it's minus 1. Okay? Now let's do question 6. Some students will start to struggle at this. But then if you do my method, it's very easy, really. I take 13 steps back, 7 steps front. I would be at the back, right? And then what's the number here? It's the difference. 13 minus 7 is 6. See, I did it very quickly without having to resort to my calculators at all. Okay? Now, question 7 and 8 is pretty much like 5 and 6, if you can tell that it is similar in type. But then I wanted to write this to teach you something new. Okay? So another technique you can use is by changing the order of the numbers. So you can see minus 6 plus 8. I can switch the position of this and it will still be exactly the same. Okay, you just have to, if you know this already, that's great. If you don't, you just have to trust me on that. I have no incentive to lie to you. So minus 6 plus 8 is equivalent to 8 minus 6. And this is easy. 8 minus 6 is simply 2. Correct? Same with question 8. 48 minus 13. Of course, there's a plus, but you can ignore the plus. It doesn't matter, right? It is easy. It's 35. Okay? But now, you might think, oh, how come I did 5 and 6 a certain way and I did 7 and 8 in a different way? So when do you know what you should do? So you choose the easiest way to do it. So if I look at 5 and 6, I would have attempted it. I would have tried, okay, 7 minus 13. 7 minus 13. Not so easy, right? So I would do it the other way. So it's very easy. You just have to flip and then you decide, is it easy for me to do this? If it's not, then you do it this way. This way would be easier. Okay? And I'll just explain briefly why. It's because this number is bigger than this number. That's why it's easier to do it. Because 7 minus 13, you will still cross the 0 point. Okay, I'm saying it's easier if it was 17 minus 13, right? Or even 27 minus 13. 107 minus 13 is still easy because I'm still in the positive range. My answer is still going to be positive. But when I have 7 minus 13, this number is smaller than this, this will end up as a negative number. That makes it difficult, okay? Of course, you don't need to think so much when you're doing it, okay? I'm just explaining why it's like that, why it turned out to be like that. I hope you guys are following me. If you don't follow, just leave me a comment. I'll try to write some more to explain it, okay? So just, so these are basically, that's it. This is the end of my video. But I'll just do 4 more questions so you get the idea, okay? So here, the first thing I will try is to flip the position. Because flipping is very easy, right? This is 108 minus 18. Oh, that's easy. I can deal with that. What's 108 minus 18? 90. Okay, so that's fine. Here, you see, there's a little bit problem. Then I will try to flip first. This is what I do in my head, okay? Of course, you don't write it out. 18 minus 108. Not so easy. But there is a way. So I'll just think about it. Okay, I take 108 steps back and 18 steps front. General direction is to the back, negative number. Then I just find the difference. Oh, it's 90. Okay, the difference. So it's 108 minus 18 is 90. So I'm done. Okay, 11. Oh, so I'm taking 2 steps back. So it is the total steps back. So I just have to do 18 plus 108 in my head. Okay, this should give me, okay, so 18 plus 8 is 26. So 1, 2, 6. Okay. Okay, so just one last one. 13 minus 58. So, see, this is kind of difficult. I will admit it is kind of difficult, right? But then if you use my method, it's not difficult, okay? I take 13 steps front, 58 steps back. I will naturally end up at the back. Then I just have to do the difference between 58 and 13, which is just 45. Okay, so you see how easy it has become once you are able to split this kind of sums into two separate parts of the question, okay? First, you determine the general direction. Then you determine which type it belongs to. Okay? It takes a little bit of practice, but as long as you do this a lot, you know, if you just keep doing it, and when you see a problem like this, you don't reach for the calculator, you try to do it on your own first, okay? And if you're afraid, you can always press the calculator to verify, but you have to attempt to do these questions, these type of questions on your own. And after a while, you will be confident because maybe the past 10 times you've checked in a calculator, it is all correct. Then you will just drop the calculator altogether. And then you'll be confident of your answer. So take your time. It's very useful to know this because to be good at mental calculation, because when you go to higher level maths, okay, and you deal with a lot of algebra, I'll just give you an example. Like, okay, so I'm like, sometimes the problem is very big. This is still relatively simple. Then sometimes the problem has many things to it, and you have a train of thought. But when you pause at these kind of problems and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? Okay, sometimes you lose your train of thought. Okay, it is a hindrance. It's very easy if I can just do it. Oh, I know this very easily. And then you can move on. I don't have to reach for my calculator. I can continue with the flow. Okay, keep up with what I'm thinking of, right? So this is very important. That's how I want to say. This is very important. Please practice it. And that's all I have to say. So I don't think I'm making another video on this. I think I've covered enough. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.